The rule of thirds. The rule of thirds is a concept taught to photography students and employed in photography. This concept helps a photographer develop composition by helping guide where you might put the subject in a picture. Let's take a look at a picture real quick. Here you see a lighthouse. This lighthouse photo certainly abides by the rule of thirds, and we'll talk about why it does. The rule of thirds is a concept based on studies that suggests the human eye can focus on a couple of different points in a photograph, rather than the center of the photograph as we might be inclined to do. Take a look here at this graph. This graph has 2 vertical lines and 2 horizontal lines. It divides the picture into 9 different parts. Really, there's 3 different vertical sections, and then there's 3 different horizontal sections. If we take a picture and we try to place a subject at the intersection of 2 of these lines, there's 4 different intersections, then the rule of thirds suggests that the subject might be easier to focus on. Let's take a look at a photo again. This same picture, the lighthouse with the graph laid on top, shows you that the lighthouse is certainly at one of the intersections and almost at 2 intersections, really. By placing the subject here, the human eye is able to focus on it, at least according to the theory of the rule of thirds. Let's take a look at a couple of other pictures. In this picture, we see a waterfall. I've put the graph on that picture for you. The waterfall is definitely at one of these points. And here, this picture has a lot of depth. It's a really nice composition. There's also sort of a line where you see the main body of water that exists along one of those, the lower horizontal line. Putting a horizon or a body of water along one of these lines really helps to add depth and utilize this rule of thirds in a photo. Let's take a look at another picture. Here you see a tree. This subject is very large, it takes up a lot of the picture, but it exists on 2 of the points that are created with these horizontal and vertical lines. And this picture is really nice. It has a lot of depth. The other thing this picture does is it puts the horizon right along one of the horizontal lines. So we see that being used in this photograph for sure, and I think it really helps this photograph with its composition. Another picture. This picture utilizes the rule of thirds to guide the horizon. Once again, this horizon is at the upper horizontal line, and there's not much variance left to right in this photo, but there's a lot of variance, a lot of contrast vertically, and placing that horizon helps our human eye focus on the subject, which are the flowers, but they contrast to the background, which is the sky. There's also sort of a secondary horizon in this photo, which is really interesting, although it's not really close to a horizontal line. Let's take a look at a picture that doesn't really utilize the rule of thirds. Here you see Master Yoda, and although the force is strong with this photo, the rule of thirds really isn't employed well here. The subject is at the middle, and honestly, it doesn't really matter that the rule of thirds isn't employed, but this would be an example of a picture that's not using the rule of thirds. Like many rules, the rule of thirds is, it can certainly be broken, and a lot of times it's effective to break that rule. Hopefully that helps explain the concept of the rule of thirds. Maybe you can try it out the next time you're taking pictures. My name is Evan Bartley, and I hope you found this instructional video helpful.